So, if you're on the journey to conception, you've probably already gone way beyond the basic advice, right? You might have even done some really deep dive testing to figure out your body's specific needs. But then comes the big question: what do you actually do with all that information? In this explainer, we're going to talk about building the foundation your body needs to feel truly ready for pregnancy and how to move from just having data to taking real, decisive action.
We hear it all the time. Fertility is all about timing, tracking, and hitting that perfect window. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the key to conception isn't really about the calendar at all? Let's just challenge that old idea for a second.
It really comes down to this. It's about safety. It's about creating an internal environment that is so stable, so nourished that your body's internal wisdom finally says, okay, yes, I feel secure enough. Now is a great time to bring in a new life.
Okay, to really get this, we need to talk about what happens when your body doesn't feel safe. It flips into what we call survival mode. And from a biological perspective, when you're in survival mode, a pregnancy is seen as a huge risk, not a priority. So let's break down what's happening on a cellular level.
A lot of the time, it all starts right here with mineral depletion. When you're low on crucial minerals like magnesium and potassium, your nervous system gets stuck on high alert. This puts a ton of stress on your adrenals and creates really unstable hormone signals. It's kind of like trying to have an important phone call with a really bad, staticky connection. The messages just don't get through clearly.
And this is fascinating. It's also about energy. Your egg cells need an absolutely massive amount of cellular energy to mature properly. So if your mitochondria, and you can think of those as your tiny cellular power plants, if they're sluggish or underperforming, it directly impacts egg quality. That means less energy for healthy development, which makes the whole journey so much tougher. At the same time, if your detox pathways get all backed up, you can get what I like to call a hormonal traffic jam. When old hormones, especially estrogen, can't get cleared out properly, it throws everything off balance and disrupts that delicate hormonal rhythm that's so important for a healthy cycle.
And this really just sums it all up, doesn't it? It's a fundamental biological truth. When your body is busy just trying to manage stress, low energy, and all this internal chaos, well, reproduction gets put on the back burner. The foundation just isn't there yet.
So if the problem is a shaky foundation, then the solution is obviously to rebuild it. And a really targeted approach can help shift the body out of that survival mode and create that deep sense of internal safety. Let's dig into how that actually works.
Now, this is super important. We're not talking about just another generic prenatal vitamin. Vicon is a precision-calibrated metabolic formula. It's specifically designed to restore that internal environment and stabilize all the systems that have to be solid before your body can even think about shifting into reproductive mode.
So how does it actually pull this off? Well, the whole approach is built on 5 key pillars of support. Each one targets a specific piece of that survival mode puzzle we've been talking about. First things first, you've got to restore minerals and electrolytes. By bringing magnesium and potassium levels back up, you're directly calming down that stressed out nervous system and clearing up those staticky hormone signals. This is really step 1 in signaling to your body that things are stable and safe. Next up is methylation support. The easiest way to think about methylation is like a master control switch for a ton of processes in your body. Getting the right B vitamins helps balance hormones like progesterone, keeps inflammation in check, and just ensures all that cellular communication is happening smoothly, which is absolutely critical for early fetal development. The third pillar is all about detox support. Now, this isn't some harsh, intense cleanse. It's about gently supporting your liver. By restoring the body's master antioxidant, glutathione, you help it clear out those old hormones efficiently, bringing back balance without totally overwhelming your system. And this brings us right back to that crucial cellular energy. Nutrients like CoQ10 are basically direct fuel for those mitochondria we talked about. This means better energy production for higher quality eggs, and it helps protect those super delicate reproductive cells from damage. And finally, we have immune and tissue support. You see, for a successful implantation, your immune system needs to be balanced, not suppressed, but balanced. This pillar helps promote a stable immune response and a healthy uterine lining, basically creating the most welcoming environment possible. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Wow, that is a lot of different things to manage. And you're right, which brings us to a huge pain point on this journey: supplement fatigue. Trying to juggle a dozen different bottles every day is just overwhelming.
And that's exactly where simplicity becomes a game changer. Vicon actually consolidates what would typically take you, about 10 to 12 separate supplements all into one targeted formula. I mean, just think about that for a second. This slide just lays it out so clearly. You know, the old way, juggling all those bottles, it's expensive, it's hard to keep up with, and sometimes the nutrients even compete with each other. A single synergistic formula means you're actually consistent. It's just simpler, more effective, and a lot easier on your system. And here's the bottom line. The absolute perfect supplement protocol on paper is completely useless if it's too complicated to actually follow every day. Real preparation requires consistency. And consistency, well, it requires simplicity. All right, let's just zoom out for a minute and look at the bigger picture here. Because the ultimate goal of all this foundational work is to create a very specific state of being within your body. This is such a critical distinction to make. This approach is not about forcing or pushing your body into doing something it's not ready for. Not at all. It's a gentle process of rebuilding from the ground up, of giving your system the stability and the resources it needs to truly thrive. And we'll end on this because it's the ultimate vision. The goal is so much bigger than just a positive test. Of course, that's an amazing milestone, but the real prize is a body that feels so safe, so nourished, and so resilient that it can not only conceive, but it can joyfully sustain a healthy pregnancy. And that powerful foundation, it all begins at the cellular level. So what does a body that feels truly safe look like for you?